Our next reader is Seth Davis. He has won a bunch of story slams for Stories at the Moth, and he's a leader at TMI Project. Seth Davis.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
It started with magazines. Mom would create a diversion in the waiting room by producing some loud, idle chatter or insincere laughter, and then, if you listened, you could hear the faintest sound of tearing paper, which would then be nimbly folded and slid into her bra or her treasure chest pocketbook. On occasion, she'd roll up the whole edition and we'd finish our business and head out on our merry way. It was very odd to young me, but exciting, because unlike the rest of her life, I watched my best buddy, my sweet mom, get something she wanted. Pages of politics at the podiatrist, recipes at the rec, horoscopes at the hairdresser, short stories at the shrink. The clippings were part of a major clutter factor at home, piles and folders, a good deal of which went unread, but which she nevertheless needed to have. She'd reiterate some of the juicy bits for us at dinner, reproduce others in a painting. Models from McCall's, reviews from Redbook, quizzes from Cosmo. My big brother took me to the market near our apartment, smashed 1-pound Hershey bars and 12 packs of juicy fruit down his pants and headed for the door. My own solo debut was at Wainwright's, the local family-owned department store, where I tucked a balsa wood airplane into my sock and got caught. Within a few years, there were photos of me on the shoplister corkboards in the offices of supermarkets in and around my neighborhood. I thought I had a natural talent for it, but I suspect that just like they said about me at school, I didn't apply myself. And I was still a good person. I was a good boy when I stole cash from my dad's pockets for candy and ice cream. I had a good reason when I cheated friends out of drugs. I still possessed redeeming qualities when I broke into neighbors' apartments and when I ripped off employers of food and money and more. And I was justified when walking out of Bloomingdale's with several layers of clothes under the baggy ones I'd walked in with, security sensors crudely liberated by the shears I brought along. The stores won't miss the stuff. I'm not hurting anyone. Fuck them. They're Bloomingdale's. Then when I stopped getting high, I began to obsess on even the more benign aspects of my deviant past. I vowed to be truthful and helpful and to pay back anyone I could. No more flannels from Filene's, no more Seikos from Sears, no more weed from the woman in my girlfriend's mom's basement apartment. And in this regard, I've thus far done a fair job, but that's because I think about where the lines are and I retrace them with thick markers so that they're not easy to blur and so that I can't kid myself about what's okay and what's not. So at present, if it's not mine, I don't take it, except for magazines. If I'm at the dentist's office, for example, I hone in and I imagine looking up at my mother with a knowing glance, 2 generations of notorious Queens paper thieves about to do a job. We look left and we look right and she gives me the signal and I move. I walk around with the whole magazine, exchanging information with the receptionist, asking if we expect rain, taking care of business, holding the thing right under their noses, offering them the chance to stop me, but they're hypnotized, lost in my cunning charade. And I make my next appointment, take my invoice or prescription, and head for the door. I walk at my usual pace, but my heart's dancing and my mind is running down the block, chocolate cracking against my groin, and my beautiful dead mother skipping next to me, alive and victorious. I don't need the fucking thing. I do it because it makes my heart dance and because it's something special I do with my mom. How can I resist?